Such an honor to be here today as we, the Sangha, walk together in the path that Shinran taught, that came to us through the foresight and strength of Nibitsu women. Please put your hands together in Gasho. Splendor in the evening sky, who can ever fathom its timeless mystery? Millions of eyes, when sparkling bright in the sable sky, touch my heart, my lonely heart, with serenity. More than all the countless sands in Ganzo River holds are the infinite Buddhas who fill this universe. Lady Kujo, Namu Amida Butsu. All right. I'll try to make friends with the mic. Okay. Lady Kujo's poem, Saya, are the lyrics to the closing gatha we will sing this morning. The lyrics set the stage for my talk today of the Dharma, sadness, communication, family, wonder, and life. Lady Kugo's contributions to Jodo Shinshu were made centuries after the commitments made by Eshinni and Kakushinni, as shared by Kiku in the opening of the service this morning. March is celebrated as Women's History Month, and even though it's April and the end of April, we decided, in addition to talking about Eshinni and Kakushinni, we would also consider who are considered the mothers of Jodo Shinshu. We would also share contemporary Buddhist women whose contributions impact our Jodo Shinshu Buddhist practice today. Reverend Ron has taught us over the years that the Dharma is everywhere. We just have to be aware and to embrace it. We can see it, we can hear it, we can feel it, we can taste it, it's there. And within our written communications, the Dharma also provides historical, intergenerational interconnectivity, messages of life, life events, and history. Our Jodo Shinshu practice has been informed by the letters written from a mother to a daughter. 10 letters written 13 centuries ago by Eshinni to her daughter, Kakushinni, were found about 100 years ago, 1921, by Professor Washido Kyoto. They were hidden within the archives of the Higanji in Kyoto, Japan. I can't help but wonder the situations that led to their discovery. Can you imagine the many emotions that Professor Kyoto must have felt when he found them? Translations of these letters identify Eshinni's struggle to survive while striving to take care of her children, her grandchildren, her servants, and their families as well. The letters share the living conditions and the roles of women in medieval Japan during the 12th and 13th century. Portrayals of women in Pure Land Buddhism and a range of lifestyles among the nuns and others were constructed meaningful religious life amid negative stereotypes that were also identified. These letters shared some of the family histories, Shinran's work, her current life struggles, loneliness, and sadness. I know what it's like being an old woman living in modern times, but I can't fathom what it's like to be an 88-year-old woman living 800 years ago, experiencing famine, hardship, and loneliness. It is unfortunate that Eshinni had no one to take care of her during this time when she was suffering so. Rather, she was taking care of others. It must have been so hard for Kakushinni to be so far away from her mother at the time she was suffering and not be able to help. In the letters, Eshinni's forever commitment to Shinran, and how deeply they both practice the Nibitsu in their daily lives, and not just as an idealized doctrine. Prior to the discovery of these letters, Eshinni and Kakushinni were basically unknown. These 10 letters filled in missing pieces and the important work, am I too close? Both Eshinni and Kakushinni accomplished. You can imagine how difficult it was writing a letter 13 centuries ago. Lack of paper, pens, pencils, and then finding messengers to deliver them. It could take a very long time from some letters to get delivered, months and sometimes years, and Eshinni was always fearful that her letters would never connect to Kakushinni. The letters were written because when Eshinni was separated from Shinran and Kakushinni and other family members, when she needed to return to Ichigo based on a new abandoned land ownership restrictions. Eshinni was saddened she needed to leave Kakushinni and Shinran behind in Kyoto, but she was grateful that Kakushinni could stay and take care of her father. When Eshinni returned to Ichigo, she was 73 years old, and Shinran was 82. A devastating situation for both of them, especially at their ages. Eshinni first met Shinran when he was exiled to Ichigo. At that time, he was 39 and Eshinni was 30 when they met and shortly married. During the 5 years that Shinran was exiled, his understandings of the Dharma became more vibrant to him, and he also made the teachings more available to others. Shinran and Eshinni challenged the traditional society through their marriage, and they always inspired each other through their lives, whether living together or being far away from each other. While living in Ichigo, an old woman, lonely, Eshinni feared that she would never be able to return to Kyo and see Shinran and her family again, but she was always hopeful she could return. Unfortunately, her fear became a reality. Eshinni died at 89 years old, never returned to her family. Kakushinni was the youngest of Shinran and Eshinni's children. She was the sixth daughter, and is remembered for keeping Shinran's memory alive and his teaching available to all people. Shinran had no intention of establishing a new sect of Buddhism, but when Kakushinni, as protector of his legacy, maintaining his numerous writings, Shinran's work was credited for the development of what became known as the Shin movement. Shinran was virtually unknown in the Buddhist context in Kyoto when he died in 1262 as a 90-year-old man. Kakushinni was only 30 when her father died. Maybe her youth gave her the energy, determination, and devotion to save Shinran's work. Sadly, Kakushinni only lived to be 60. We can only imagine, had she lived to be the ages of Shinran and Eshinni, what she might have accomplished. Kakushinni's influence lives on through the bloodline and leadership through the Manchu and the Hoganji, which are up here, are pictures of members. This is the 23rd, 22nd Manchu, and the bloodline of the Manchu goes back to what started with Kakushinni. Because of Eshinni's and Kakushinni's dedication to Shinran and their accomplishments, the Federation of Buddhist Women's Association, FBWA, established the annual Eshinni Day in 1978, and in 2002 added Kakushinni to it, and though this is why temples today celebrate Eshinni and Kakushinni. You've heard me say previously that we once had a house fire and lost almost everything. During that time in my life, the Dharma became omnipresent. Reverend Ron reminded me, saying, "Cynthia, the Dharma is everywhere, that it surrounds me, and I can see it." I trusted his words and found that the Dharma did surround me. When I found the Dharma in my new everyday life, it gave me strength, fortitude, and especially gratitude. I could see, hear, and say, and experience the Nibitsu like I never had. The three treasures and the golden chain of love were everywhere. In such a reality of a house fire, the attachments to possessions in Buddhism as cause of one of the sufferings, possessions become, some can be replaced and some can't be replaced. To me, what couldn't be replaced were the photographs and written letters and communications that I had received. Not everyone has been in the position, for various reasons, to receive letters from a parent or a sibling or friends over the years. So I recognize my fortune for such an opportunity. Because of these letters, I have interconnections to past family events as well as historical events while also learning the emotions of my family members and friends. My attachments to these letters were hard to let go of. Fortunately, with great effort, we were able to salvage the letters. Some letters from my parents and relatives that go past 70 and 80 years. I also have postcards from my grandmother and grandfather to each other written in the late 1800s. If you ever sent me a card or a letter, I can almost guarantee that I still have it. When I was pregnant, Fred, a good friend and working buddy, started giving me journals to record events, stories of my life and experiences, and cards from my pregnancy from friends. This went on also right after Omni was born. These journals are also serious attachments in my life that were also salvaged. So I probably have 20 photos of letters. Like I say, these are my mom and dad's letters and cards in here. I'm a teacher, teachers have to use visual aids and stuff. I apologize, but not really. These are cards. Many of these came, and this is Dharma School stuff, after the fire that people sent. This is what the song is about. And again, you can see how these are some of the journals that my friend Fred gave me that start from pregnancy, that poor Omni talk about much of our lives before he was even birthed. Is that the right word? Anyway. My mom passed away New Year's Day, 2001. I used to talk to my mom on the phone almost every day her last 4 or 5 years. And when she died, my arm just automatically went to the phone at a certain time of the day to call her. It was a hard habit to break. So I started writing her a letter every night for close to a year. In my Dear Mom letters, I would write much of what we talked about on the phone. Over the year, the letters became Dear Mom and Dad, because then I would include Dad in the conversations. I haven't looked at these letters since I wrote them 25 years ago. It was far too sad. But I did go through a few preparing for this talk. I can't believe I wrote close to 200 pages of my Dear Mom letters. Reading some of the letters bring back so many memories and stories. And at the end of each letter, because I'm a teacher, I would always identify a lesson that I had learned that day. The first lesson I wrote, life is very sad sometimes, and we need to live it fully. Hug your family members daily. Tell them you love them. I'm going to cry. And every day, at the end of every day, say I love you. Every phone call, I love you. Another lesson, Terry will like this one, plant trees and flowers in memories of those you love. Another lesson, being brave is not surviving a crisis. It's living every day, sometimes alone, sometimes old, sometimes far away, sometimes going into surgery. And the last lesson of the letters, it takes a while for pain to go away and to talk about important stories. For the tears come very easily. I don't want to forget the stories, but it's just too hard to go there sometimes. You know the kind. You have your own stories, but don't forget them. Reading the letters my family members wrote decades ago, I easily recognized that I experienced similar pain and love from what my mom wrote to me in the 20th century to the same pain and sorrow that Eshinni wrote to Kakushinni 13 centuries ago. Both mothers between the ages of 75 years and 88 years old when writing their letters to their daughters. Some of the content that Eshinni, my mom, wrote may have been mundane, about the weather, not feeling good, being lonely, but some of it was historical, what goes on within a family, within a society, within a world, and would sometimes provide love and hope of the nighttime sky. Eshinni's letters to Kakushinni provided historical preservations, and their contributions opened the doors for modern women to contribute to Shinran and Jodo Shinshu, some through poetry, some through social justice work, education, leadership, and music. I asked Christina, being an artist as a pianist, if she could share about some of these women, and she agreed.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks. And thank you so much, Cynthia. I was really feeling the connection myself, and I could sense that others were in the audience with me. As Cynthia mentioned, I'll be mentioning a few of the contemporary Buddhist women, and I'd first like to talk about Lady Kujo. The Baroness Lady Takeko Kujo, 1887 to 1928, was the daughter of the 21st Monshu and sister-in-law of Kazuko Otani. Lady Kujo was recognized for her compassion expressed in her poetry, her work, and in her social justice actions. Lady Kujo is considered a contemporary woman leader in the Nishihonganji and is known for dedicating most of her adult life to giving a greater voice to Buddhist women. Based on Buddhist principles, Lady Kujo helped to develop the Kyoto Women's University. She also helped to establish the Asoka Hospital, which is one of Japan's first modern medical centers. Lady Kujo died after contracting an illness during her charitable work in the city slums following the Great Kanto earthquake. Her famous book, Leaves of My Heart, has the poem Seiya, which are the lyrics to our closing gatha today. Lady Kujo helped her sister-in-law start the Fujinkai, which is also known today as the Buddhist Women's Association, or BWA. When her sister-in-law Kazuko Otani passed away, Lady Kujo took over the association's operations, which is still active today. Cynthia earlier mentioned the FWBA, and that is the umbrella organization covering BWA chapters across the nation. Our very own MBT women contribute to the legacy of Jodo Shinshu, and I'll name just a few. Jean Toguri is president of the MBT Women's Association. Under her and Elaine Matsushita's leadership, MBT sponsors the New Life for Old Bags program, which recycles plastic bags and turns them into sleeping mats for some of Chicagoland's unhoused population. MBT BWA also supported Marie Kira and Kailani to attend the Buddhist Churches of America, or BCA's, events. Jean has received recognition and appreciation from the MBT board for her long-standing dedication and commitment to the MBT WBA. Any Sangha member can join the BWA of any gender of at least 18 years of age. Like mother, like daughter, in 2024, Jennifer Toguri received a 10-year Dharma School Teaching Award from Bishop Harada. Ivan Harada is yet another notable MBT member who composed the music to a gatha that was selected to be included in the Hawaii Gatha books, and it continues to be sung in their services and is one that we sang last week. To name a couple more contemporary Buddhist women outside of MBT, the opening gatha we sang today was written by Donna Sasaki. Donna is a member of the Tacoma Buddhist Temple and has contributed more than 20 songs to the Shin Buddhist Service Book, which is the service book that we use. She is currently active with the FBWA Music Project and with the Music Committee. Her brother, Reverend Marvin Harada, is the current BCA's bishop. Through temple donations and WBA support, Dr. Paula Arai joined the Institute for Buddhist Studies faculty in January 2023 as the first Eshinni and Kakushinni Professor of Women and Buddhist Studies. This position was created to honor Eshinni and Kakushinni and to encourage women to study and participate in Buddhism. The women I mentioned, along with a multitude of others, are Buddhist leaders who inspire others to be active participants in Jodo Shinshu Buddhism. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina, for sharing about a variety of modern Buddhist women who are still advancing Jodo Shinshu. Also, thank you, Christina, for playing the piano for the Sangha on Sunday mornings, that we can sing with joy, confidence, and reverence. The Sangha honors and appreciates your talents and commitment to MBT. The work of these women and others demonstrate that the Dharma is everywhere. Words and silence, we sing and listen to the music, and we experience the Dharma through nature, the universe, and observed in the sky, in a flower, in a face, throughout words. Much of the focus of our talk today has been on Eshinni's letters and other letters, and the significance of their historical content, and they share the Dharma expressed. Because people don't write letters so much anymore or send cards, I often wonder how such events and stories are going to be recorded. I'm not sure emailing or texting works the same way as a form of recording family history or other events. Reverend Todd mentioned in a Dharma talk last month of the importance of engaging and connecting to history in the present and not just through the past. I believe that's what letters' accomplishments can achieve. Let's take a time to continue to start and to record some personal history. You might have seen in the pockets in the back of the pew in front of you are some cards. I don't have one that have a pen with them. There should be 50 throughout the condo. And if you want, please take one. If you don't want, that's cool too. But maybe sometime today or tomorrow, you can write a short letter to a friend, family member, politician, celebrity, even yourself, or even possibly someone who died. The content may include a little family history, your gratitude, hopes and dreams for others in the future, current events, or maybe just share the Dharma that you read, see, hear, or experience, or otherwise. By writing your letter, you engage in what Reverend Todd suggested and encouraged to connect to history in the present and not just through the past. Celebrate Eshinni and Kakushinni today and write a letter, protest. If you don't get one that's already with a pen and a stamp, there's several others I put on the back table too. So, but as you leave, you can kind of see whether other envelopes are in the pews. Through 10 letters from a mother to a daughter over miles in time that shared a place in history, Japanese history, and Jodo Shinshu. Jodo Shinshu has claimed a place in Buddhism, in history, in the world, and why we are here today. And just talk briefly to Reverend Ron prior to service, and MBT has just entered our 5th generation, right? So we've been here 5 generations now. I truly hope someday someone somewhere finds the letters Kakushinni wrote to Eshinni. We can only imagine what those letters might share as well. As we sing Saya today, think of Lady Kujo, Eshinni, Kakushinni, and other pioneer and contemporary people and how they have enriched our Buddhist past. If you want to learn more about much, and many of these women, Ari has some books down in the bookstore that you can talk to him about. Thanks to Christina, Kiku, Joy, Taryn for being active participants in the service today. Thanks for Reverend Todd for supporting 21st century women, Jodo Shinshu women. I will close today with the Jodo Shinshu affirmation, written about in the 20th century by Dorothy Hunt. Dorothy and her husband, Ernest, were both ordained sensei in the Shin tradition and taught Buddhist education to the children in Japanese children in plantations in Hawaii. Dorothy was active in Jodo Shinshu for many, many years until she died in 1983 at 97. Buddhist women live a long time. When we wrote what she wrote decades ago connects each of us to others in the past, present, and into the future. Dorothy wrote The Golden Chain of Love. If you would like to join me, it's on page 8 in the service book. Please put your hands together in Gasho if you can. I'm a link in Amita's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I will keep my link bright and strong. May I be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. May I think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amita's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all obtain perfect peace. Namo Amina Boots. Thank you very much. Enjoy your day.